Me 25M, my girlfriend 28F. We have been together 6 months, and her daughter 6 have hit a wall. Note, I am not a parent yet. I tried to Google some advice, but it was all for women. Apparently men don't seem to care as much about winning over their partner's children, and the posts by men were all pretty dumb, i.e. moving in together after 2 months and complaining about lack of time because of the child. So I apologize that this post is probably not of an uncommon nature. So my girlfriend and I have been together not too long, 6 months, but we both feel as though this is the right relationship for us, and it is. We make each other really happy and are very dynamic. Both of us really want to be in it for the long haul and are trying to work things out. We both agree that the next step is moving in together. Of course, moving in would seem easy as nearly every aspect of our relationship is great, but we have a little person to worry about. We will only do so when her kiddo seems ready for it. The daughter 6 is a great kid with a really big heart and is a lot of fun. She can go a little wacko sometimes, but that's normal for a 6-year-old. I don't think there's anything wrong with her, at least I hope not. With regards to moving in, we understand that the most important thing is her daughter's peace of mind and well-being. Her father is still in the picture, though it seems like he might be phasing himself out, as he used to take his daughter every weekend but hasn't done so for the last 2 or 3 months, which is a blessing and time will curse, because it means that I can spend more time with my girlfriend's daughter and try and form a friendship with her, which we have done. On the flip side, this means that the volume of long showers on my part has increased. Things were going great until the little one started to realize that she and my mom weren't just friends, but something else that she might not understand. On a one-on-one basis, the daughter and I get along great. We play together, joke together, and have a lot of fun. However, when I am not around and her mother tells her that I am coming over, she sometimes gets upset. Of course, I understand that she fears that I am trying to steal her mom away from her and she wants to spend more time with her, so I am doing my best to allow them time together without me. I am currently very frustrated because it seems like there are 2 versions of the daughter, the one who gets along with me and the one who seems to secretly resent me behind my back. Also, I am foreign and speak her language with an accent and occasional mistakes, which I think might be throwing her for another loop, as her culture tends to be very wary of foreigners to begin with. Basically, I want to see if there's anyone else out there who has been in the position that I am in. How did you go about winning your partner's kids? What steps did you take to ensure that your home life with them and your partner was good? What's a good way to gauge what a tiny person is actually thinking? In essence, how can I make her like me? An example, an hour ago we were walking down the street and her mom grabbed my hand and held it. I never initiate anything around the girl, and the daughter, who was on her other side, peeked in between to see if we were holding hands and got a sort of sour look on her face. She didn't say anything or seem visibly upset, but I didn't get the feeling that she liked it at all. Of course, I understand that getting her used to me being around will take time, but right now I am at a loss for an approach. I feel like I've hit a dead end. I am only ever kind and fun and she likes me but doesn't seem to like the idea of me being with her mom. I'd really like to change that and I'm ready to do whatever it takes to do so because, hell, I love her mom a lot and I want to love her, but she's making it difficult with her negative vibes. A further point of frustration is that I work with kids and they all love me. I feel like the only kid that truly matters now is the only kid out there who doesn't like me. Edit. Thanks everyone for the ideas, support, and suggestions. I was afraid that this would end up like most our relationships posts where the top comment is along the lines of breakup. Now, Redditors reactions update after. Redditor 1, 6 months is really quick both for being heavily involved in and so's child's life and for moving in together. Add those 2 together, and all signs point to slowing things down a bit until everyone is comfortable and certain. Redditor follow-up, I agree, I think at this point he should have been introduced as a friend if at all. But since that ship has sailed, maybe just keep the relationship stuff to a minimum in front of the daughter. She may also think that you're replacing her dad since he's been around less not long after you've been around more. Redditor 2, I work with kids and they all love me. Unless you happen to dating their mothers, that's not a fair comparison. I love her mom a lot and I want to love her, but she's making it difficult with her negative vibes. Dude, she's a 6-year-old and wondering, why doesn't daddy love me? She's allowed to be less than thrilled that a near perfect stranger is trying to shack up with her mother. You've only been dating 6 months. If you truly believe that this relationship is going to go the distance, you can afford to wait another 6 months before you make the next move. Without grumbling or resentment on your part. Redditor 3, is that little girl in therapy? She needs to be. From her perspective, she is losing her parents. They are not together. A lot of younger kids will think it's something they did to cause the breakup. Her daddy is phasing himself out. From an adult perspective, this might be a blessing. From hers, it's him abandoning her. My niece is dealing with the same thing, and you are taking her mother away. Again, in your eyes it's a good thing, but that may not be what she sees. Edit, I forget what all these buttons mean. Op answer, my girlfriend is looking for a good child therapist. We live in Russia, so the idea of a shrink has been frowned upon for many years. Basically, if you or your child goes to a shrink, you are an invalid. They are becoming easier to find, but we want to find a good one. Redditor 4, her dad is phasing himself out. Her mom has a new guy coming around and is talking about moving in. That's a lot to handle. 6 months is barely enough time for you to know your GF well enough to move in, let alone for this little girl to feel safe and secure. I would definitely table all talk about moving in together. Make sure that mom and daughter get plenty of quality time without you. Buy them tickets to the movies, or pack a picnic for them. Let the daughter know that you aren't trying to steal her mom away. Include her in conversations about what to have for dinner within reason, give her 2-3 choices and let her have the final say. She needs to feel included, and she also needs to feel like she has control over some of the things going on in her life. Update, me 26M with my girlfriend 28F, 7 months, and her daughter 6 have hit a wall. I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who posted helpful comments on the first post. We took a lot of the advice that our relationships provided and fast forward a month. Was it a month? 2? I don't know. My girlfriend's daughter and I are like peas and carrots now. I am relieved because things got way worse after I originally posted. At one point, she told me that I was evil because I am an American and that my brother and family are evil too, even though she has never met them. She then went on to say that she heard that all Americans are evil on the radio. Hooray Putin propaganda. I realized that she is just 6 and we need to be really careful, but she said last night that she wants us to get married. I do too, after a year or 2 of living together. I think I will be moving in within the next few months and can't wait to be a part of both of their lives. Thank you all so much for the encouragement and tips. I really hope it all works out. Redditor's reaction. Story 2 after. Redditor 1, what? Putin and Russian government are propaganding that America is evil. Why? I know there's some country tension, but why do what Nazi did? But, I'm happy everyone is getting along. Redditor follow up, lol, like we don't have propaganda in our country about the evil Russian government? The difference is just that we're right. Right? Redditor 2. Great, glad things are fine now, thanks for updating. By the way, I'd plan on seeing another 1-3 cycles of I Hate You. Okay, you're alright. Just plan on being as good a guy as you can, and being real with her. Ouch, that hurt my feelings. You sound angry or whatever. She'll come around eventually. Each time. Story 2, my M54 wife F52 of 4 years hooked up with a guy to spite me. Lied, hid that, then continued to pursue him after we started dating, fully integrating her with my family and with intent to marry. Truth comes, 4 years into marriage. Explicitly lied to while dating and then engaged, and through 4 years of marriage truth now comes out. Second marriage for me, first for her. She and I had been good friends and worked colleges for more than 15 years. I had been single and dated her and another lady after first marriage ended. She is the only person in my life who has known absolutely everything about me no matter what. I thought I had the same from her, as our friendship was deep and long-standing, and she told me I did. Our promise to each other was no secrets ever. Even an ugly truth is better than a lie. There was complete trust in her and I choose to marry her because the trust and commitment were high, and I was done with drama etc. She absolutely knew this. We were talking about a potential future together in 2015, but I had to resolve some things with a GF at the time. In Sept, she went out boating with a neighbor, got drunk, and ended up at his place. I'd been trying to reach her, ended up going to neighbors and finding her there. Nothing had happened, but it sure appeared it would have if I hadn't come over. Later she told me how glad she was that I'd gotten there before anything had and that she didn't want anything and there never would be. Over Thanksgiving, I went out of town to see family and asked her not to see him. I wasn't totally removed from the other relationship I'd been in, and certainly if she had wanted to explore something with him, she had that right, but she said she didn't. She promised she wouldn't, but then resented me not trusting her and asking her not to, so she invited him over and hooked up out of spite. She has admitted that the attraction had existed, but her action to hook up was out of spite. In January everything ended with anyone else, and I told her I knew with certainty that there was no one else I wanted to spend my life with. That I'd marry her right then, but we needed to get family, friends, etc. to buy in, and she wanted a wedding. She had never been married, so I started doing all I could to integrate her into my family life. We did a week-long sailing trip in the spring, as prep for a honeymoon bareboat charter on our own. But a week or two after that went and hooked up with the neighbor again. And then continued to communicate with him. In the summer, I took her and my kids together to Costa Rica for a family vacation. After we returned, she goes to his house with the intent of hooking up again, but this time he wasn't interested. They stayed in touch and continued some communication even after we married. The only reason she didn't carry on a full-blown affair was because he didn't really show interest in a relationship. But, turns out he was who she craved. Now truth comes out. I feel like a consolation prize. My marriage feels like a fraud, and I can't fathom how she could accept a proposal and marry me while keeping all this hidden. She knew with certainty the single most important thing for me was an authentic, truthful relationship that accepted each other as flawed people committed to each other. Had she told me before she hooked up the first time, or even in January, it would have had integrity and I could have made fully informed choices, and she could have too, and we'd likely have still married. Instead, we married and she resented the hell out of it, even telling my brother once 2 years ago that she wished she was still single. Now, she says she fully wants me, no one else, and is totally into our marriage. Wants it to work, is fully committed, and can't imagine being with someone else. Don't know how I can ever feel great about a marriage that started with lies and deception. How can I stop obsessing about the deceitful start, get the images out of my head, and have a joyful marriage? Redditors' reactions. Redditor 1, get the duck out of there. Redditor 2, on the off chance this is real, divorce your liar of a wife, I don't see how there's any other recourse. Op answer, if the relationship had started with integrity and shared mutual desire for it, and then the cheating happened down the road but was truly regretted, I'd feel like it had something to work back to. Like a real place to restart from. She's now asking me to return to the joy I had before I knew, when what I believed wasn't actually true. It's a tall order I'm not sure I can navigate. Redditor 3, you are who she settled for, but she really craves him, just as you said. The only reason she's not with him is because he wouldn't commit to her, but you would. You're her sense of security, her meal ticket. This will always be the case. I'm sorry. The longer she stays away from him, the more she idealizes him. Her saying that she wishes she was still single is her desire to have her cake and eat it, too. Have you listened to Taylor the Fiend on YouTube? She sounds like she's a product of the hookup culture. Op answer, I'll check that out. And true on me feeling like I am her meal ticket. She's been living the life of no work. Redditor 4, wait. She cheated on you to punish you for not trusting her not to cheat on you. That may well be the weakest excuse I've ever heard. Op answer, the first time they hooked up November of 2015, I was dating another woman, so I not exactly cheating on me, except there had been a promise she would do anything, pursue anything for a bit longer while I brought that to a close. If that had been it, and in January she'd told me, hey, this happened and I'm not in a place I can fully commit to you. Well, crap for me waiting too long, but fair enough, she handled with integrity. But nothing was said except a lie when I asked her about him, and it continued then while I poured my heart and souls into her and integrating her with my family as the one. I believe she had wanted to be the one in the past, but likely I took too long and she got hurt angry. I have to own that element of it. I don't believe it is an excuse to not share her real feelings and break off contact and continue to pursue Mr. Handsome that made her swoon while telling me she was all in with my and thrilled we were going to spend life together. Redditor 5, this have to be fake. Op answer, sadly, I wish it was I did a lot to screw up my first marriage because it hadn't been safe to be honest and open. I swore I'd never allow the fear of talking about something hard to be bigger than the fear of what happens when honestly transparency doesn't exist. Hence my insistence on it. My now wife saw me go through all that and understood how I felt. Redditor 6, methinks your wife is a foul homunculus. Op answer, had to look that word up. Yes, it is certainly acting very small to do this. By the time you're our age, I don't see an excuse for being young and dumb not giving someone the integrity they deserve. Redditor 7, yeah man, just leave. The foundation is broken and she needs you agency to make a clear, honest decision. Op answer, exactly my feeling. I was need a choice. I told her an annulment would be in order because I entered the marriage under a fraudulent pretense. Redditor 8, yes, really sounds like you should leave. But I've got to say, reading this post is a bit confusing. It seems you were both in really messy relationships as you were getting together and things stayed messy. What does I wasn't totally removed from the other relationship even mean? My overall advice is leave and maybe next time don't overcomplicate your life again by mixing relationships. Just date one person. Or maybe date no one and just spend time with your family and kids for a while. Redditor follow-up, yay, sounds like he was asking her not to hook up with this guy while he was in multiple relationships himself.